wet the whistle. We're all comfortable, happy boys, yeah?
Here we go.
Right, oh yeah, we're there, I'll be straight ahead. Right, I'm looking up there, right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's the SharinGANG. We're back on it again. And of course, it's PT64, and joining me as always, it is
Clockwork Nerd.
That guy.
And we are here to talk to you guys today. We're going to be hitting up some Bleach one-shots. And we're going to be breaking down this fantastic one-shot. Let me just start by saying, we're going to break this down. We're going to come at you with a nice little selection of some analysis videos. And today, we are focusing on Kazui. But before we do that...
Kazui Kurosaki.
Oh,
Kazui.
yeah.
Soon to be
Yes.
baddest name in anime.
Oh, dude.
okay.
We
Well,
reckon
manga.
so.
Manga.
Yeah.
Not yet
quite
anime.
Yeah. We're not there yet. We still need 1,000 Year Blood War, but we'll not
We're getting
tease anybody anymore with that. We're all on the same boat, right? If you're a Bleach fan, you know how that feels. But first, before we dive into it, guys, we're going to give a brief little overview of the one shot. For those of you guys who haven't seen it, of course, spoiler warning right now. There it is. And of course, giving us our little brief overview. How very own that guy.
I have reread the chapter a couple of times following a complete read-through of Bleach. And I understand it a bit more the second time and third time reading it.
Yeah.
Definitely. Essentially, what happens in it is Ichigo is contacted to be part of a ceremony. The ceremony goes wrong and the baddies turn up.
Familiar face.
Yeah, we get a very familiar face. The guy with the most screen time that's not a main character.
So
or
true.
Villain. Yeah.
So true. Get an author's favourite. You know
CLB
that bad
Pop-
boy.
CLB
You
Pop-
know that bad boy.
He makes his return after having one of the longest fights in the anime and manga previously. But he makes his return. He gives his explanation as to why he's there-ish.
Yeah.
And that's basically, the start of the return of Bleach. This new bad guys or return
Yeah,
bad guys.
there is a
So-
big build-up to a return of some big names
Yes.
in a bad way.
Yes. I mean, if you want the finer details, then I heavily recommend you to just download the Shonen Jump app. It's the best £2 you will spend a month. What is it, £1.98 or something like that a month?
Something like that.
Something
Literally
like that.
about £2, right? Not sponsored, but Shonen.
Heads up.
Look,
Yeah,
look,
the entirety of Bleach is on there as well, and lots of other manga on there, £2 a month. But yeah, if you want the finer details, download the app, pay the £2. Just read through it. 74 pages
So
of
good.
absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
But it's the first time we really get, we saw Kazui at the end of the manga.
yeah. You see Kazui and Ichika being Rukia and Renji's daughter. You do see the two of those, obviously, at the very end of 1,000 Year Blood War in the manga. But that is it, isn't it? You still literally see one, bang, one cell, done. That's that.
And they make the return briefly, like in this, they're in it a bit. It doesn't focus on them, but Kazui especially has some. You just know from what happened.
Yeah.
He's going to be integral in.
Yeah,
what's to
100%.
come.
Yeah,
I seriously feel personally that with it starting out with Kazui, that right there. Doesn't start with Ichigo. No. Do you know what I mean? Like how you'd sort of expect.
It's in Ichigo's bedroom, lying in Ichigo's bed.
You would have thought,
what I mean?
you would have thought that it'd be, it's returning, we're going to get Ichigo off the rip, like who knows, but no, like Kazui straight away, and some serious stuff, you know what I mean? Like in terms of ability, we're talking. He's tiny. He's a child, like a straight up
visually,
child.
What do we think of him visually? Like the artwork of him.
I think he looks great.
I like it.
I think he looks absolutely wicked, but he's almost got that Wunderweiss sort of, but he's got those wide, almost like dead stare eyes, but with this big smile. I think he's looking awesome, but I won't lie, I think he's creepy as balls.
Orihime's face with Ichigo's hair.
Yeah.
Like,
He is.
those big, innocent, like, sort of naive eyes.
Yeah.
it's just naivety in.
But they've just got a look of darkness. Let me say, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
They've got a look of darkness.
So much that is the look of darkness in his face. It's just that once you see like that shot. Okay, we'll talk about what's happening, but there's a shot later on, which we'll go into detail about. But where he's being like the wind, the pressure's blasting it back, and he's just holding a pose. That was a scary fucking shot. Like, yo, this kid is messed up.
Yeah.
There's something not right.
You got Con in the background there with him, sort of looking after him, if you will. You got Con there with him. You got a spirit that is basically just like Ichigo did at the very beginning of the series, where you go chat to spirits, try and help him out. Kazui is doing exactly the same thing. I keep wanting to say Ichika because he's got Ichigo in there. Kazui doing exactly the same thing. But yeah, he's opening this portal. They're getting blasted. He's just stood there. Like, his clothes are moving. He's not. Like, and I really do feel he's going to be such an OP character. He's going to be right up there with the mountain severing strikes. Like, I really do believe that he's going to be a beast.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when we first see him, he's in Ichigo's bed.
Pretending to be a little.
Arihina comes checking him. As soon as she's gone, he jumps out the window. Con tags along like you gotta go back to bed, but he's having none of it. And he's like flying straight. And it's not like I can't tell obviously because it's
in the cells in it.
Yeah.
He's pretty much doing the classic Soul Reaper sort of stepping through the air kind of.
Like,
but he's moving fast.
Yeah.
And then he's on some like clouds.
Yeah, that bit.
Like you're getting the whole flipping flying Nimbus thing going off. What's all that about?
The fish cloud especially as well. And you see now the thing is, because we dabble in the Brave Souls, because we dabble in the Bleach Brave Souls as if we wouldn't, there is a version of a character in that, a special version of, from Spirits of Forever With You. And a big thing of that character is those fish. Now, this very same character, without giving the big spoiler, I'm avoiding that big end sort of spoiler for this one shot here. Right? I'm doing my best. It's very much related to that character right there. And that character does not seem to be coming back in any kind of good way.
No.
At all. We are talking, big fear. Yes. Big fear, right? And the portal that is opened as well. We're not talking the classic, lovely Senkai mon, the sliding doors. No, we're talking some harrowing looking thing.
It's not even like what was the Arankar's portal with it's a sort of like
like the sky bridge.
That was that one there. It's even more sort of. I'd like to find out what the sound effect for this one is. Actually, the sound effects are quite cool.
Yeah, too right. Yeah, the Sonido is still one of my favourites. Distorted like bass sound for the Sonido, I love it.
But yeah, when he's flying on this fish, and he goes to see like Ichigo would. I think the spirit, and I think he's in the same place.
I think he's by the same lamppost.
He's in the exact same lamppost as the first spirit you see Ichigo.
Same house, I believe. So I'm very curious. Of course, we're not going to digress here. We're staying on point, but I'm very curious where Ishin is. If that's the house where is Ishin moved? Has Ichigo's sisters, have they moved out now? Because surely they've grown up to a point where they've moved out, like maybe gone to uni or something. Like who knows? Like, I don't know.
I mean, Urahara's back in the Soul Society now. Maybe Ishin's like.
Maybe he's back. Yeah. That is one character we did not get to catch up on.
Maybe Kazui's in the academy. Is it Kazui the one that had a bit more spiritual pressure, his little sister? Not Kazui. That's Ichigo's son.
Karin.
Karin on you.
Karin,
Karin, wasn't it?
Karin had.
Maybe she's in the academy now. Who knows?
Who knows?
So Kazui goes to see a spirit that's in the same location as Ichigo's first.
Yeah.
And takes him to this little stone
shrine.
In like through some bushes, like, oh, come with me. If you're sad, come with me, and takes him to the shrine. He does this weird little ritual thing, which is you got to clap three times.
3 times,
2 nods,
twice,
and then clap again,
and then you clap one more time.
Yeah, and then this portal just opens up, and it is harrowing.
Yeah.
And then it's like inviting people to come in because apparently everyone, we don't know who everyone is.
Everyone's in here.
Yeah, that's the quote right there. This horrible mouth portal with the jagged teeth and stuff. This wretched portal opens up. Con and this spirit are like horror. You can see the look on their face. They're looking horrified by it. And he's like, nah, don't worry, that big smile again, those eyes.
That's what makes him scary.
Don't worry about it.
It's like the creepy little girl in the horror movie.
Yeah. And it is that
Completely
right there.
contrast to the rest of the tone.
It's that right there, like you said, that everyone's in here.
Yeah.
Who is everyone? And the thing is you do not see him then again until one cell. Right.
It's literally like the last cell
The very last
of the chapter,
very
then.
last thing, and you don't know where he's been. You don't know if he left Con and the Spirit behind, because they ain't there with him at the
Yeah,
end.
sort of left Con behind in some creepy hole.
No doubt Con's going to get left somewhere he doesn't want to be. No doubt. Like, no doubt. When the gang catch up with him later on, it's going to be like, he left me in here.
But yeah.
That is all we see of Kazui.
Yeah,
That is
that's
it.
it.
That is
In the
all
chapter.
we get. Yeah, that little bit.
So
Don't forget, at the end, he does seem to be chasing a hell butterfly at the end.
Two of them.
Two of them.
yeah.
He does.
Yeah, the hell
Right at
butterflies
the
were
end.
given like there's a lot of emphasis on the hell butterflies
Yeah.
throughout the chapter. We don't
Absolutely.
exactly
See
know
him
why.
quite a lot throughout
Because it's something that obviously
It's touched on.
all of us like Bleach fans have been exposed to right at the beginnening of the series.
Yeah.
This is one thing that always blows me away with Tite, his ability to take something that is so old, if you will, and just go, by the way, you never knew this.
Yeah.
And you learn a big thing about those butterflies. And there is and the reason why they have hell in their names, the reason there, as a quote there from Ciel Zaporo, as you said before,
We don't know exactly what that reason is yet.
there's a reason that they have, there's a reason they have
hell.
hell in the name, and all the times that we thought, oh yeah, they're good. They symbolise that thing. You see them, back in the day when Rukia with a conso, she'd send them off, a little butterfly. But we are starting to learn some stuff.
We are speculating, but like what
There'll be a lot of that.
we're hoping it's going to fill in the gaps in the lore that were clearly left, the gaping holes that were left in the back end of the manga.
Definitely.
Maybe the anime is going to get filler to allow it.
Maybe.
It's going to be an anime canon. I know you don't like it. An anime canon for what 1,000-Year Blood War's supposed to have been if it wasn't being rushed out because he was ill.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Yeah. But this, at the same time, the manga could come back and actually fill in those gaps.
Let me say right now,
And
the
that
only
could also
time-
get an anime, hopefully.
the only time I would be happy with filler is if they did some sort of preemptive backstory building to move into the one shot into New Bleach. That'll take. Aside from that,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
And the thing is you can't necessarily do that. I'm trying to think.
There's going to be loads of movies and everything, I feel like this.
I know there is. I know there is.
Oh.
To be fair, though, the one thing that I'm really, really glad is I know for a fact that the majority, maybe not all, but the majority, I dare say, of Bleach fans, we've all been curious, after the film and whatnot, we've all wanted that little bit more of the Hellverse. It's finally giving it to us.
Yeah. Brought up in the anime was the Menace Grande towards the start.
And let's be honest.
And then that was it,
you
right?
kind of assumed that Hueco Mundo was hell.
Yeah.
You kind of...
Well-
no, I'm not saying that you assumed it as in, you sort of knew it was, but, in the back of your mind, you kind of... There was almost that automatic assumption, because it's well, the Soul Society is technically like heaven, if you will.
Well,
And Hueco Mundo-
I've got a different idea.
Yes.
Kind of purgatory.
This is what, we absolutely know.
Yeah.
And obviously, the Soul Society is not.
Well,
No, right. I feel that it's just different realms for different kinds. So the Soul
Different
Society
afterlives.
is the Shinigami's realm. Hueco Mundo is the Aaron. What is the Quincy's realm? We don't know.
No.
We don't know yet.
No.
Hell is actually hell. It's not a realm for where people come from. It's where people go to.
Yeah.
The Soul Society, Hueco Mundo, and the Living World seem to be sort of connected in this sort of
Very
triangle.
much so.
Yeah.
So you've got a hell,
Yeah.
and I reckon that there's also is a heaven that we don't know of yet.
Well, it's just beyond the veil, isn't it, essentially? I mean, you see, obviously, when the Arankar break open the portals and you can reach through into Hueco Mundo, and obviously hollows appear out of a seemingly thin air. So it's almost like you've got to assume that there's some sort of thin veil where they can push through into the world of the
it's
living
done
to feed.
Brilliantly in being allowing him to expand, because
Definitely.
What was that?
And nice to
What-
see
how he
hollows as
travelled
well.
between
In the
world?
one shot.
Yeah, and the different though.
Yeah,
whole
very much so. Like, it's not just your classic hollows, but it's, you know, it's such a nice little nod to just the classic. The classic Bleach where it was running around and killing hollows. That was the mission, you know.
It's just the same thing, but turn up to 11 now.
Yeah,
From the looks of
absolutely.
it, anyway.
Before it got like obviously like so much more complicated. In the best way, praise Isaac. Yeah.
Maybe we'll get him back. Maybe.
Oh, don't start doing that to me, because you know I'll get all wily, I'll get all excitable, and yeah, it's not good.
So what do we think Kazui's going to bring to the chaos? Because we have discussed, I've got many different theories.
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
He could be the Boruto of the Bleach.
I mean, you have to say it, but
it could.
It could well be. I said to you, I would not be surprised. I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm not saying that this is going to be the case, but I literally said it to you two yesterday. I would not be surprised if with this power bump that we're going to be getting in the upcoming, and it's been made very, very clear, I would not be surprised if Ichigo goes down and Kazui is your new protagonist. I would not be surprised.
Ichigo might have to get nerfed, mate, in order for there to actually be a threat.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, we're talking about that. There ain't no full bringers to save him this time. Like, not this time. They're all chilling in the Soul Society. So it's like,
maybe he has to give his powers up to Kazui.
Maybe.
For once, he actually gives the powers.
Maybe it's the classic blade in. Maybe it's the classic. You know, there's possibilities there. But I don't know, to be honest. I think he's just going to be a powerhouse of his own.
Yeah.
That, or because he goes to this place where everybody is and we don't know who's there, it clearly doesn't look like he's gone to a good place, regardless of how comfortably he is with it.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if there is some sort of tainting of Kazui. And maybe a little join us. Do you know what I mean? One of us. I won't be surprised.
This is what I'm saying, because they're talking about the balance of spiritual pressure in the living world, and or is it the living world, or is it just everything? Because it's Soul Society, the living world, and Hueco Mondo.
Yeah,
so
technically.
Spiritual pressure that isn't as heavy as the spiritual pressure in hell.
It's the trifecta, isn't it? Yeah. So they speak about it with when the balance is off, everything collapses.
The key to that imbalance is without him knowing, Kazui. When he's going through the portal, when he's got his spiritual pressure, which is if he's able to open a portal just by and all that.
And we've not even seen him like swing a sword or anything yet, so we don't
got
know what he's capable of.
The hilt looks a bit like
it's looking like Ichigo's classic sort of red handle. You think he's looking more?
I'm sure it's the shape of the Bankai. So when it's still in sheath, the hilt was the Bankai shape, not as thin or anything like that, but it looks
that same
that
shape.
weird. Yeah, that.
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. I reckon they'll probably end up having like similar. But again, that is one thing. If we're talking Kazui, one of my favourite things about Bleach. Tell me more about his Zanpakuto. Tell me more about his Zanpakuto. I want to know its name. I want to know what it can do. I want to know all of that stuff.
It's going to be some sort of play on Engetsu and Zengetsu, because
it's going to be.
Engetsu is Ishin's, Zengetsu is Ichigo.
It's got to be. So yeah, of course, with the Shin sword. Yeah. It's got to be something that Tangetsu. It's got to be something like that. I hope so.
Would you be happy if there was a shift away from Ichigo and towards Kazui in the narrative?
I'd be happy enough. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that guy that constantly just clings on to the original and refuses to move on with the times. I'm not that person at all, and I refuse to do it. Do you know what I mean? It's just got to be good.
Yeah.
I refuse to do it. So I would very much not mind that at all. Because at the end of the day, if you want Ichigo, go back to Bleach then. That's the whole point, right? Go back. The story is about him. You know, you get, obviously...
I mean, I wouldn't argue for more, though.
Of course not, man. Of course I want more Ichigo. Yeah. I always want more Ichigo. He's one of my favourite protagonists of all time. Do you know what I mean? I adore Ichigo as a character. Of course, I definitely want more of him. But the potential that we're already getting, tickled with here for Kazui is, I've seen Ichigo's potential. I've seen him severing mountain ranges. I've seen him dominating his opponents. I want to see Kazui doing some just mind-boggling shit. I want to see Kazui doing some Getsuga Tensho that is splitting the earth in half. Do you know what I mean? I want some.
It's gonna have a proper when Ichigo returned with the two swords and he did that little one. At the end, it's and then it just took out, and I'm like, oh.
Absolutely.
Like he's just going to be playing with them, isn't he? He's going to be flinging them out. It's like,
And finally give us that Bleach Ultimate Ninja Storm. Stop messing about.
Yeah,
Bandai Namco, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you, Bandai. Right? Come on, I'm looking at you. Give us that fighting game, please.
I feel I'm predicting that you wouldn't mind a shift to Kazui's
I'd be
more
happy
playful
with
nature
it.
about.
I'd be happy with it.
Yeah.
Depends how he's done though. Like it all comes down to how we use him. We never know. He could be the villain of the story.
Yeah.
Like
I have a strong feeling.
dude.
I have a strong feeling that might be the case.
So I was saying with that
he's-
taint, I reckon, man, absolutely, I completely agree. And you know for a fact, like, we already get such a feeling that he's so wildly different from Ichigo.
Yeah.
That's the best part as well. Like, Ichigo is pretty, like, head screwed on, headstrong, do you know what I mean? Whereas I feel that Kazui is going to be a lot more, like, dodging attacks without even meaning to. You know, that kind of character where they're sort of a little daft and they're sort of moving around.
Just
like
straight up
I was going to say, like, pistol draw.
Straight up genius.
I reckon so.
Like I made like the comparison
so.
before. Like Ichigo has a massive amount of spiritual pressure. Didn't know what the hell to do with it.
Just swinging.
Whereas this kid appears to have a large amount of spiritual pressure. He's able to open up gates. So we're just assuming that he's got incredible levels.
And the question that we
can do stuff that Ichigo probably now still wouldn't be able to do.
Yeah,
because he
absolutely.
Just is a bit of a conquering idiot.
The question that we haven't, even without you guys, the question that we haven't posed is, who taught him to open that portal?
Well, this is the thing.
He
no
didn't just
one
learn.
taught him, and
Like-
this is pure instinct.
Like,
he's
there is
working on.
surely no
Person has got to
way
see.
he's gone, let's try this out. Like, there's no way, like, someone has to have gone, by the way, which then also leads to the question, did someone pop in at one point through some sort of portal and go, I can teach you some stuff? And he's like,
at the end of the manga,
I'd like to learn.
At the end of the manga, when he was that whatever was happening at the end, where the black blobs were coming back, there was some in Soul Society, one in Kazui's bedroom apparently, and he put his hand in it. And then the one in Soul Society sort of like exploded, and they were like, that's the last of Yua's energy gone. Like, it looked like a bubble, but he put his hand in it. So it was going somewhere. So it might not actually be the end of Yua. That's how we said. I can't wait to find out how we said.
We're not going to speculate on the name, let me tell you that now. The Quincy King, right? The Quincy King. We are going, that will be very interesting to see. And something that sort of just popped into my mind then, really, that we think about, and I think about that final cell, who's he looking up at? So I've only just thought about it. Yeah, but is he looking up, is the door still there? Is he looking up at the door to hell?
Oh, right, yeah.
Because that hasn't disappeared yet. That hasn't disappeared by the time you flick over. You see the two little butterflies in front of him, but on the cells before, you see the butterfly flying toward the Hellgate.
Yeah.
So what's he looking up at? Does that mean that he's about to go, ooh, what's in there?
We could also be looking up at Ichigo, because Ichigo is still there as well.
Yeah. There's, again, speculation.
Yeah.
What is he looking up at? Who, what, where, when, how?
I reckon whatever the problem...
Never thought about that before until now.
Whatever the problem that's going to come through those gates of hell to the world of the living or Soul Society or wherever, Kazui has helped, but he is not aware.
Unknowingly.
Gonna say,
he's done it naively.
That would not surprise me at all.
Absolutely.
Just completely unaware, completely naive, like you say, very much so. I mean, you watch, we'll do all this speculation. Those doors will open, it'll just get cut down.
Like, Ichigo's that strong now. Like, I'm finished. Like, gone. Just biggest anime manga troll of all time. You know what I mean? We've waited years.
We're bringing it back. We're bringing it.
For half a chapter. Done.
Sweet. Yeah, it was good, that. It was good. Yeah. Kazui, we will see. We
will.
Yeah, absolutely. Any more points, boys? Any more points on Kazui?
No.
I think I've raised enough stuff for anybody to maybe have.
Absolutely. I was going to say, but the question is, have you hit us up in those comments? What are you thinking of Kazui? Have you read the one shot? What do you want us to cover in these coming analysis videos? Because we've got plenty to talk about. Is there anything you specifically want to hear about? Guys, hit us up in those comments. Let us know what you think, what you want us to talk about.
Yeah.
Definitely. Cool. And that will be us for this episode. We are going to catch you with more analysis videos from the Bleach one-shot coming your way. And who knows what could be coming next. Some delicious weeby goodness, you know what's good. I have been PT64.
I've been Clockwork Nerd.
I've been that guy.
And we will catch you on the next one.
Peace.
See you.
SharinGANG.